Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl, Absolutely April, here for another reality recap. I'm doing Married to Medicine. We are on episode 13. We are getting down to the wire. We're getting closer and closer to the reunion, and I want to see if Dr. Heavenly actually got her butt whipped. So we are getting closer to the reunion. So I'm very excited about that. If you're new to my channel, I do reality recap, not only reality, but I do movies, I do TV shows, and I like to throw in a little hint of spirituality. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. And those of you returning, I so appreciate you. I appreciate your support, and I can't I mean, I'm just excited about where my channel is going. I'm so excited about you, my subscribers, and I'm so appreciative. So I can't thank you enough for returning again to listen to another one of my recaps. So let's get into, we done talked about all the pleasantries, so let's get into Married to Medicine, going back to Blue Ridge. So Quaz visits Anila in her nice little G wagon, and they flash back to 3 weeks ago when Anila did get robbed. So it's been about 3 weeks since Anila got robbed, and Quad expresses her disappointment in Dr. Simone and Dr. Contessa, and of course Toya. And Anila says she felt like Contessa was like interrogating her. And Quad says, tells her that, Simone was laughing and stuff. So Quad is playing the role of bone carrier at this point. Quad said, "You are not gonna catch me, going back to being a friend. I'm gonna carry some of these bones and get the party started." So she is carrying the bones back to Anila and telling her that Simone was laughing, and Contessa and Toya, they were all questioning the legitimacy of her robbery. I think the whole thing is bad on both ends. On one end, they said don't blame Toya for it, but then on another end, you could say, well, it could be a setup. So it's which one is it going to be? Are you going to accuse Anila of insurance fraud? Are you going to accuse Toya of having something to do with it or putting a hit out on her? I think both of them are equally bad, and I feel like we shouldn't put that in the atmosphere. Now, I will put I will put somewhere, in this video, a video to when I did a tarot card reading on it, on Anila's robbery. So I can't say who it was, but I don't think Anila set it up according to what my spirit said and what the cards read. But nevertheless, we're gonna move forward. So Anila asked, why would she willingly traumatize her kids? Quad says, who would pull an insurance scam and then and then put it on the internet? So, Quad says the streets of Atlanta have been talking about, Toya for quite some time, talking about her cheating rumors. So it's not really, she feels like, Anila really didn't bring that to the group. It's been around all of Atlanta. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Toya and Eugene have an understanding. So we really don't know if Toya is cheating. They may have an understanding. We don't know. So they flash back to the Christmas party, and Anila says, Toya lives in the neighborhood, and she didn't even check on her. Now, Anila, if y'all not in the best place, she may not check on you. Just to be quite honest, she may not check on you because she feels like you hurt her, and now, it would be fake of her to say, hey, how you doing and stuff like that. But and especially, if she knows that you may be low key blaming her for the robbery, so why would she reach out? So Anila, I think you're reaching on that, but Quad agrees and says, this was a life changing thing, and it definitely was. if you have a chance, go on Netflix and watch The Bling Ring, where you remember it was about those teenagers who broke into a lot of the, celebrities' homes in Los Angeles. And some of the people were talking about when people get robbed, it does something to them because it loses their sense of security and stuff. So I mean, the robbery is not just about the things, but it's about your sense of security. So, and I think, it is. It's definitely life changing to have someone come into your home and violate your trust and violate, the sanctity of your home. My home is my sanctuary, so I couldn't imagine someone coming in here rummaging through my stuff. I would feel very insecure. I would feel very unprotected. So I get it. I get what Anila is saying, but I don't think you should jump the gun and blame Toya because you don't have the facts. You just know that Carrie said that that there was a possible hit out on you 2 days before you got hit. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I hate that this happened. So moving on, Dr. Jackie and Curtis have Dr. Simone and Cecil over. So they are, I guess the awesome twosome is back together. So Dr. Jackie asked for help to make her charcuterie tray because she don't know how to make a charcuterie tray. Dr. Jackie is a lot of things, but she is not domesticated, honey. She has problems with the cooking and the making of a charcuterie tray. But hey, it doesn't matter, Dr. Jackie. You got a whole bunch of other set of skills that a lot of us don't have. So Simone helps her out with the charcuterie tray, and she didn't wash her hands. But we're gonna go with that. She put some hand sanitizer in those hands before she started handling the meat. So Jackie asked, once they sit down, Dr. Jackie asked about how they felt about what happened at the Christmas party, and Simone says, it was a shot. It was a blank show. It was a crap show, and asked how she's trying to figure out like how did it go left. No, this isn't at the Christmas party. This is at this is at Dr. Jackie's party where Dr. Heavenly stormed off and told them to climb a tree. My bad. So Dr. Simone said, this was a crap show. How did we go wrong? So Dr. Jackie says she wants to fix it. Dr. Jackie is Mrs. Fix It. She always wants to fix the group. So Cecil says, I don't know if it can be fixed. And Curtis says, well, how about we go back to BlueRidge? And so ding, ding, ding. Let's go back to where it all started. You may remember in season 1 of Married to Medicine, all of the couples went to BlueRidge Mountains and they had a good time. They did a lot of bonding. So that I guess this is their opportunity to get that old thing back. So Dr. Kieran, it goes to Dr. Kieran helping Ariana with a poster for Mrs. Gomez. Y'all, they got Ms. Gomez back. Ms. Gomez, you was free, girl. Why did you come back? Why did you come back? Or was this a storyline, Anila? I'm starting to side-eye you, Anila, with these stories because I'm starting to think, you brought your mama and that was a storyline for you, and now Miss Gomez mysteriously comes back. Like how she picked up her stuff and went all the way to Texas, and she was able to pick her stuff back up, not Houston, Texas at that, and then picked her stuff back up to come on back when she said she wanted to be close to her family. Something in the milk ain't clean. So, but nevertheless, Mrs. Gomez is back. And they said that they was going to give Miss Gomez whatever she wanted to come back. She could have a room in the house. She could have their room if she needed it, but they wanted her to come back. And good help is hard to find. And honestly, I don't blame Anila for wanting the help because I only have one and I wish I had help sometimes, a lot of times I wish I had help. So I get it. I totally get it. And if you can afford a Mrs. Gomez, I think it's a form of self-care. I don't think you should neglect your children, but if you need some help around the house, hey, by all means, do it. If you can get it done, you should get it done. It's a luxury. So as they're making the posters for Miss Gomez, Anila burns the food. So thank God Miss Gomez is coming back. So Mrs. Gomez arrives and they celebrate. Avir is so happy because now he can get his pinto beans, and Dr. Kieran can get his wife back and get some good food in his tummy because I'm pretty sure Anila wasn't cooking and he was tired of ordering pizza. So, and they say that they'll never let Miss Gomez go again. So we go to Contessa. She's getting ready for the fitness competition. So she's talking to her fitness coach, and she's reminiscing on all the sacrifices she made to get to this point and become, do what she needs to do to, to fulfill her goal of being in a fitness competition. So she's talking to her fitness coach, and they're telling her, you need to get a spray tan so they can see all of the crevices and see all of your nice little muscles. And I will call it, I will give Dr. Contessa her flowers. She looks good. Her body is banging. I wish I had the discipline to do it. Maybe if I had a Mrs. Gomez, I may be disciplined enough to do, to do some of the stuff that Contessa did to get her body right and tight. So I ain't mad at it, but she looks good. Um, we're rooting for her. So, and then Contessa dad is going to come and support her because her dad hasn't really, seen her in a bikini and seen her in that light. So she's excited about her dad coming, and it's a good thing because her dad, had some struggles in the past. I think a few seasons ago, they talked about his struggle with being on drugs and stuff. So, it's a full circle moment to have her dad still with us and being able to see his daughter have such an accomplishment off of her list. So it's the day of the fitness competition. And Contessa looks amazing, as I said earlier. Scott and Dr. Scott and the family are in the audience and, supporting Dr. Contessa. So Layla doesn't seem to be excited about being at the fitness competition. She says she doesn't want to see her mom in no type of bikini. So she's over it. And Dr. Scott is trying to get her to get, excited about seeing her mom. And she's like, I don't want to see her in no bikini. So, her dad is there. He's excited. So Dr. Contessa competed in the wellness competition. Now, I have no idea about fitness competitions, so I don't know what the wellness competition consists of, but it had a lot of ladies who looked like they were the size of Dr. Contessa. They all had nice shapes. They all were slim and nicely built and toned. So it was really, it was interesting to see. But Contessa, being in her mid to late 40s, she was like, I'm rolling with the best of them. And some of them girls was like 18 years old. So she looks just as good, as some of them girls up there and had and pushed out 3 kids. So yeah, go ahead, Dr. Contessa. So Dr. Contessa does her posing and her thing, and she's walking around. The poses look crazy to me, but I guess that's what they want to see. They want to be able to see all up in through your behind and all that kind of stuff. So, um, Dr. Contessa, they're cheering. Her family's cheering like ah! They're making a whole bunch of noise, and her dad is cheering. And then I noticed something. Her dad still didn't have any teeth in his mouth, and I'm not trying to joke. I'm not taking it as a joke, but I thought Dr. Heavenly fixed his smile. So I was kind of taken aback because I was like, I could have sworn she did some implants for him. But nevertheless, maybe something went wrong. But I'm glad that Dr. Contessa was there. I mean, Dr. Contessa's dad was there to cheer her on and to see her. And she eventually, once they did tallied up the scores, Dr. Contessa won. So she beat out a lot of people in her wellness group. And I think she was probably one of the oldest ones there. So yeah, congratulations, Dr. Contessa. And I'm so glad this storyline is over because I don't want to hear no more about this competition. And I mean, I don't know if she won because the cameras were there or not. But nevertheless, I'm glad the storyline is over. Moving on. So Cecil and Simone pack for BlueRidge, and Audra calls Quad as she's packing for BlueRidge, and Quad asks her, how you gonna feel about Toya being, at BlueRidge? This is gonna be the first time you get to see her. And, Audra's like, So Eugene and Toya, are packing as well. And Eugene asks, what she plans on asking Toya what she plans on getting out of the trip. She says, I want Jackie to tell Audra that we don't be fighting and putting hands on each other. And she said, I want I want to confront Anila about the rumors she brought to the group about, her marriage. So Heavenly is getting ready also, and Dr. Damon is also getting ready. But Dr. Damon has a class, so he won't be at BlueRidge. He won't be going up there on the first day. He'll, come the next day. And so Heavenly asked, Dr. Damon, she was like, you're going to leave me by myself? What did they try to whip my behind? And he was like, just don't say nothing. Dr. Heavenly, listen to your husband. Keep them lips closed. Don't say nothing. Don't start nothing, because you don't need to be up there getting your behind with in them woods in Blue Ridge Mountains. So it goes to Anila and Kieran. She doesn't know how she's going to do with this trip because, she's still upset about the break-in, but also she's upset that the women are saying that she could possibly have something to do with the break-in. And she's just like, why would these big these grown women who are professionals think that I would do something of that caliber and put my kids through that? She's still in disbelief about that. And then, these women in their big age, she's like, why would I do something like that? Anila, honestly, people do it every day. I used to work in insurance. So yes, insurance fraud happens every day. I don't think you did it, but I guess they got, it's, they got to sow discord. And you coming after that girl. So, Married to Medicine is in alliances at this point. We have Dr. Simone, Contessa, Toya on one end. You got Heavenly, Quad, Audra, Anila on another end. You got Dr. Jackie in the middle. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. So, Dr. Jackie, Simone, Curtis, and Cecil, they have a word of prayer before they head to Blue Ridge. So Toya asked Eugene if he's checked all the doors because now that Anila's house got broken into, she wants to make sure that the doors and stuff are secure because she wants to take it seriously. So Toya, even though she's, saying, all that, she throwing out venom, talking about could it happened because she's a liar. She believes that the robbery did happen. I don't think Toya believes that Anila had anything to do with that robbery. That's why she's asking Eugene to make sure he checked them doors. So Eugene says he feels like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and Toya said they went to sleep on the wrong side of the bed. So I don't know what them two got going on, what they was arguing about, but clearly they still need a lot of counseling and a lot of help because they are not seeing eye to eye. And he's changed his jobs at this point, so you should be happy because now y'all get more time together. Or have you gotten adjusted to him being away all the time? And now that he in your face a lot more, you tired of him? Because that can happen too. So Audra and Martin and ride with Quad and Dr. Heavenly to Blue Ridge. And she lets them know she hasn't seen them since the wedding. And so Audra says, they had the time of their lives and their wedding lasted for a whole 3 days. But keep in mind, Audra is African. So a lot of the African weddings are like a huge celebration. And she had a whole bunch of people coming in. So I can just imagine all the, her wedding being so elaborate. She said it cost 6 figures and it was worth it. So, hey, I don't think I want to spend 6 figures on a wedding, but that's just me. Simone says Anila and Kieran will be late. And Contessa and Scott will also be late. So Jackie says that Damon will arrive the next day because he has a class. So Cecil asked if they will address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, I'm assuming, because they flash back to the intervention, they're still talking about Heavenly's YouTube channel. Like, stop beating it with a dead horse. She ain't getting rid of the YouTube channel. And That it just is what it is. You're not going to bully her into stopping her YouTube channel. And honestly, now she's watching what she says at the best of her ability. I think she's more mindful of what she says about her friends, but everybody else, they can get it. They can get it. So Simone says there will be no one able to jump in anybody's face. And Curtis says no, it should be no throwing objects either. And Simone says if anyone gets too aggressive, they will have to exit and leave the trip. So I agree with those rules. So they get to the cabin. The cabin is very luxurious. This ain't no regular camp cabin where there's no electricity and all type of stuff. This is a mansion, a mansion in the woods. It's very nice. There's views of the lake. There's a chef's kitchen. There's, nice rooms with a lot of nice decor. I loved going camping. Going to the cabins in BlueRidge. Me and my husband went with some of our friends, and we had a great time. It's relaxing, and seeing that house right there, I'm like, that would be a perfect house to go, like, have your family to come to, and just spend a holiday together, like Thanksgiving or something like that, where you could just all just be under one roof and just enjoy each other. So yeah, I would definitely love to do that with my family. So Simone says, they're going to assign the rooms because the last time it was a debacle with the rooms, people running and jumping on beds and all types of stuff. So Jackie says Simone's crew will be on the top floor, and we all know who Simone's crew is, and Jackie's crew will be on the bottom floor, and we know who that crew is too. So Simone says she is concerned because Scott and Contessa get a little loud in their love making, and Jackie said, well, you may learn something. So, I mean, until the cops come knocking, Maxwell, good God, what are you doing? Dr. Contessa, what is y'all? I think Contessa's just loud anyway, so I can imagine what type of sounds they make, because just as hard as they fight, I bet you that's just as hard as they make up. Again, hey, I ain't mad at you about that either. So Toya and Eugene arrive, and Toya suggests that, let's just lock the doors and lock the other ladies out. And before the other women arrive. So Toya asked about the room situation, and she said, look, don't put me and my husband next to the kitchen expecting him to cook all day. And I'm with you on that, Toya, because that used to be the same thing with my husband, because he was good at frying fish and all type of stuff. He was always the one in the kitchen doing, and we can't enjoy each other if he's the one doing all the cooking. So yes, Toya, I totally agree with you on that. So Simone addresses Toya and says she had a little stank attitude. So she addresses Toya about her stank attitude. And so Jackie and Simone tell Toya to communicate with respect, and this group can continue like this. So they sat Toya down and just treated her like she was in the principal's office. So Simone wants her to let her guard down this weekend and be vulnerable. We're going to see how that works. So they said they will not destroy families this weekend. And Toya says she had a counseling session prior to coming on the trip, and she realizes she needs to get to the root of the situation, because her counselor said, hurt people, and she needs to know why Anila was trying to hurt her. Get to the root of the situation so they can move forward. So Dr. Jackie is saying, God is in the midst of this retreat. So we're going to see. We are going to see. So Simone asks Eugene what's on the menu for the night, and Eugene says, lasagna with ground turkey. And so Dr. Jackie like, ground turkey? She's like, well, let's get some wheat pasta. And he was like, no. And I'm with you on that. You ain't about to mess up my good lasagna with that wheat pasta being all tough and stuff. No, it's going to be made with regular stuff, Dr. Jackie. Now, you are more than welcome to partake in some of this salad and this chicken, but the lasagna will be my recipe. So thank you, Eugene. So Heavenly, Quad, Audra, and Martin arrive, and Toya asked Eugene if she wants to, unpack this suitcase, and he said no, and she's like, okay. So Heavenly walks in, and Cecil screams for Simone. to put the house rules up because he knows once Heavenly get there, the stuff is about to get started. And so Cecil notices Audra and Martin's sweatsuit that says champion. I got on my Cowboys sweatsuit. Yay, Cowboys. But they came in with champion sweatsuits, clearly at a dig at Toya about, wearing champion sweatsuits. So they come in there and Cecil notices it and he loves it. He loves the shade that this couple came through the doors with. So Heavenly requests a room where no one's having sex. I'm with you on that. Ain't nobody want to hear all that humping and grunting and all type of hairboard banging all night. Ain't nobody got time to hear all that. So they give Quiet a room with 2 full-size beds and her own bathroom. They say just in case she had, bought a little date with her, they didn't want her, commingling with nobody and she wouldn't, marry. And so Dr. Heaven reminds her, you in the Bible Belt, you can't be doing, that type of stuff before you marry. And so Kawhi quickly reminds Dr. Heavenly, like, well, didn't you have a child before you and Dr. Damon got married? Dr. Heavenly was stumped. Like but in her confessional, she says, I'm sorry, Jesus. I couldn't help it. I love the dynamic between Dr. Heavenly and Quad. They're like big sister, little sister. They go at each other. I love their energy. So Toya comes in the kitchen saying, it was noisy. What was going on? So Eugene said a storm came in. Eugene is always shady. So Cecil says, Toy, the crew is downstairs, with their getting their rooms together, Heavenly, Quiet, Audra, and Martin. So Toya says, oh, Cecil laughs. Cecil gets tickled with the shade. He loves it. He's here for it. And I would be that type of person too. So Toya says, I can't be fake. And, Audra swung on her. And yes, she did. Toya, you was poking. You poked the bear, and she came and bumped chest with you, and you mushed her. So I see both sides. You kept poking at her, and sometimes you get to people to a point where they just can't control it. But yes, the mush was warranted because yes, Audra was chest bumping you. She was chest bumping you. So I get it. You had to get Audra up off you. But had those, I think Toya had those swings connected, Toya would still have a concussion. So Heavenly walks in and she speaks to Toya and asks, if they're good. And Toya, says contestants and Scott are arriving later. Dr. Heavenly asked nothing about contestant Scott. So Audra and Martin walk in and Martin speaks to everyone. He said, hello, everybody. And Eugene ignores him and continues. I don't know what type of sauce Dr. Eugene was making, but he was just like, I ain't got nothing to say. And he just kept it moving. And Toya, she act like she didn't hear them either. Rude. So Audra asks Martin if, Audra is, you can tell she's awkward. So she's asking Martin, like, you want a yogurt? Like she's trying to kind of keep it moving. And he was like, hell no, I don't want no yogurt. So it's funny because Martin is like, I don't care they didn't speak. I'm not getting, I'm not letting them ruin my time. So Heavenly tells Toya, Anil and Kieran will be there, a little later too. So Heavenly apologizes to Toya and says, she took a lot of her frustrations out on her at, Dr. Jackie's house, and she shouldn't have. She says she's dealing with the grief of her mom. She's been crying a lot lately. She wishes she wasn't crying. So this, right, just her being humble and vulnerable, Heavenly being humble and vulnerable with Toya. Toya was able to bring her walls down and say, well, your mom died. Now you're being compassionate. Now you're responding the way someone should respond to you when someone, mother or loved one, has passed away. Because last week you showed no compassion. This week you are bringing it down a notch. So Heavenly says, regardless of what I got going on, I shouldn't allow that to affect how I reacted to you. And she apologizes. I don't know why the ladies can't stand when Dr. Heavenly apologized. I think it was a genuine apology. Now, I don't know how she still feels, but people react differently to grief, and everybody's in their different stages. Some people, are in the anger stage. Some people are in, where they're sad and depressed. You just never know, how someone reacts to it. You just have to kind of be compassionate. So Toya says, it's understandable. Toya says, not showing compassion. In her confession, she said not showing compassion, with someone who loses a parent is being an a-hole. So you was being an a-hole. Self-awareness, Toya. I love it. I love it. So Toya just was like, it's just been a year. Toya looks like she's been through some stuff and she just is not saying it. I don't know what she's really not happy about, but it could be her marriage. Not really sure. But Toya, my heart goes out to you because I can almost look at you and just see the exhaustion on your face. And when you get to that point when you just exhausted, man, that's a hurting feeling. And it's a Jill Scott song that says, I'm lonely whenever you're around. So I don't know if even though she's with Dr. Eugene and she's getting that time with him now, she still feels that loneliness. They have to get that connection back. She and Dr. Eugene, I need them to get that connection back because it's wearing Toya out. So Audra is downstairs, Sage in the room, and I said in another video, please, y'all, stop using sage. Sage is like a bug repellent to the spirit. You are getting all of the spirit out of the room. You are getting good spirits and bad spirits. It's just gone. So, and then now you're opening it up to any other spirit to just attach. So you want to Palo Santo the room next time. Palo Santo the room. So Audra is using her sage and stuff, and she has a fertility doll. She's rubbing on her belly. So clearly she is trying to get pregnant with Dr. Martin. So they have all these pregnancy tests. And so Audra goes and does her thing with the pregnancy test, and she comes back, lays on the bed, and they're just talking and waiting for the results to come in. So she's rubbing her belly with the fertility doll, and she can't look. Dr. Martin looks, and they are pregnant. Congratulations, Audra, on being pregnant. So I'm so happy for him. This was so cute. Audra already has a 7-year-old son. I also have a 7-year-old son, and she says that he has been waiting for a younger brother or sister since he's been born. And I get it, mine too. And I wish that, and I hope and pray that that's also in the cards for my son, because I would love for him to have a younger sibling that he could, that he can grow up with and, be with, because I'm an only child. So it's no fun being an only child sometimes. You get everything you want, but still it's no fun sometimes. So, Toya says she likes to be naked. So they're back upstairs. Toya is talking about she liking to be naked and wanted to do some type of nudity camp. Toya, ain't nobody want to see all that. Nobody wants to see Dr. Eugene naked. I don't want to see you naked. If you go to a nudity camp, go with people you don't know. I don't want to go with people I know to see that I'm naked. So Dr. Eugene is annoyed by the whole situation. He said, and Toya likes to take a bath with her friends sitting in the bathroom with her. And she was like, I mean, it's a girl. Some people really don't have a problem with being naked in front of people. They don't have that type of insecurity with themselves. So they don't care about being naked. Now for me, I don't have a problem with being naked, but I'm just not gonna be out there in front of my friends. Just, I'm in the shower and my friends just sitting there, we having a long conversation. Like, I don't even like people outside, if you ain't supposed to be in my room, I don't want you in my room and I don't want you in my bathroom. That's why I have a guest bathroom. So yeah, I don't know. So Eugene says it's weird. That's who you married, Eugene. So Anil and Kieran finally walk in, and Jackie and Heavenly greet them. Anila, asks where her room is, and Toya is upset that, still upset that Anila brought the cheating rumors to the group. So Anila and Kieran walk into their room, and so the window is up, the blinds are up. So Anila is like alarmed because, she wants privacy, and since the robbery, privacy is her utmost concern. So Kieran, brings the blinds down, closes the blinds, and so she's like, "Where are the cameras?" So she's hyper aware about everything, and I'm hoping maybe she needs to get some counseling because you can't live your life just scared like that. And your children are going to start feeling that you're scared all the time. So yeah, you need to kind of work through these things, Anila. So they go upstairs and Dr. Eugene has made the dinner. It looks good. The lasagna looks amazing. Eugene made the garlic butter from scratch on the bread. He has salad, he has chicken, he has everything for the people. So Dr. Heavenly is clearly hungry because she is like the first one at the little table to eat, and she volunteers to say the grace, and she says the grace. So they sit down and eat. And Anila is talking about, she went to Savannah for a couple of weeks after the break-in because she just didn't feel comfortable. And she says that Ariana's been having nightmares. So Toya chimes in and says, "I'm sorry that, your family is going through that." So Toya, so Anila says, she was like, "By the way, who in here think I had something to do with the robbery?" And so Toya says she doesn't know, and what she would and wouldn't do. She really don't know her at all. But Toya, last season that was your friend. Y'all was hanging out. You don't know now you're saying you don't know what Anila would do. And you'll be mad if Anila said, "I don't know what you would do either. Did you set me up?" Like, so let's get to an understanding and figure this thing out, because this is not good for the group. This is not good for the group. So this is where we at. It's to be continued. We're going to see what goes down while they're at BlueRidge. I don't know. I truly don't know, y'all. Contessa ain't came in there with her yelling behind. So we we don't know, because especially if they bring up that dang on YouTube channel again. So Dr. Contessa, I could see her just spiraling out. So we're going to see. But what would y'all rate this episode? I would rate this episode maybe about a 7.5, maybe. I would say about 7.5, maybe an 8. It wasn't all that, but I know this is a setup episode to what's about to go down. So I can't wait to see what's going to go down with these ladies, these medicine wives in my fucking Neva voice. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not. Like, share, comment down below, interact. Do you think Toya has something to do with it? Do you think Anila is committing insurance fraud? Let me know what your thoughts below. Share this video out. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. And till the next review, I will see you later. Peace.